Hello! Today's video is sort of partly a requested video because someone asked me what I think about boys who get their belly button pierced. And yeah, basically I replied to them and they said, well, why not make a video of it, because, I think it would be very useful to make a video of it because, other people might actually worry about the same thing. And I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good idea actually, but seeing as my opinion is pretty short on that subject, I thought why not make an entire video about just a bunch of opinions about piercings. My opinions, obviously. Yeah, so basically this video is just all my opinion. Basically, like, if I don't think something is weird, it doesn't mean that you can't think it's weird. Because you're totally allowed to, of course. And yeah, so basically my opinions are just my opinions and everyone's allowed to have their own opinion. But yeah, I just thought I'd tell you what I think about things. For those who, for whatever reason, care. So yeah, I'll just start with the, I have a list up there on my laptop. I'll just start with the subject that they asked about, like piercings versus genders basically. And yeah, like I said, my opinion is really short about that. I think that if you personally like a piercing, then, whatever your gender is, whatever, just go get it. Like, if you can safely get it, obviously, and, won't get in trouble at work and everything. But yeah. Basically, if you like a piercing, then, I don't think there's typically female piercings or male type piercings. I don't think that was like the right word for it, but yeah. In any case, so basically I think that a man with a belly button piercing can be, really sexy as long as the entire guy is sexy. And if the entire guy is not attractive to me, then I won't think of him as more attractive with or without the belly button piercing, basically. The piercing really doesn't have any effect on that, is what I'm trying to say. And the same goes for women, of course. I also don't think there's like piercings that don't look womanly. I mean, like, different piercings look good in different people. Like, for example, a septum piercing would look horrible on me. But I've seen a lot of girls on YouTube who look amazing with a septum piercing. So really, like, any piercing I think can look good on like different people. And as long as you think it looks good on yourself, that's the only thing that matters. Because other people, they only see you for like, a few hours per day, maybe if you go to school with them or to work. Or like a few hours per week, or maybe even less. And you have to live in your own body, obviously, for like your entire life, 24/7, always. So the most important part of piercings is that they make you happy, because they're in your body and you have to live with them. So if you think you look more beautiful with a piercing, then that's all that matters really. So yeah, that was basically my opinion about the whole gender issue, and then about piercings versus age. Well, I think there's like different opinions about that, and personally I do think, just considering what my tastes were when I was like 14 years old. When I was 14, I thought that black eye pencil on my eyelid and then black eyeshadow sloppily applied on top of that and then tinted moisturizer on my lips, that was a good look. It wasn't at all. I'm very glad I hated it to get photos taken of me back then, because luckily there's barely any proof of it, but it looked horrible. At least I think so. And yeah, basically, so what I'm trying to say is that I think that people who are like in the age of 14, like, still pretty young, still really young actually, that they should be careful with like doing things to their face that they can't, like, they can't undo, basically. Yeah, so basically things that are like, like if you get cheek piercing and you stretch them up or something, you'll always continue to see that, things like that, like with only a nose piercing or lip piercing, if you like take the piercing out and it grows shut, then it'll only leave a tiny little spot and no one will really notice it, I guess, unless they like watch your face really closely, but most people aren't creepy enough to do that. So yeah, basically that's just a thing. I just think that, as long as things are like possible to take back out and just, not have them be very visible anymore, I don't think it matters. I do think, however, that like, well, again, this is like, I know some people actually think it's a good thing and some people think it's not a good thing. Personally, I wouldn't put piercings like earlobe piercings on a baby, for example, because I think that someone should be, aware of getting the piercing and should really choose to get the piercing, because it is a needle that goes through your body. There's always a risk of infection, and however small, the risk is there, and it hurts, and it's got to be taken care of. And I think that the person who gets the piercing should actually be aware of that and actually choose for that themselves. and not be, you know, forced into it basically. But yeah, I mean, to each their own. I mean, of course, if you have a child and you want the child to get their ears pierced, then of course it's your decision though. So, you know, I don't have anything to say about that. But yeah, personally I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that, yeah. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say about piercings versus age, yeah. And yeah, basically what I do, by the way, think, like, you know, when you're like 14 and if you want to get like a tongue piercing, you know, I don't see the problem in that because you can always take it back out. So yeah. The only problem with me was when I was 14, I wanted to do helix piercing since I was like 12 or so. But it took me until I was 22, I guess. Yeah, 22. Maybe I was still 21. Well, it took me a whole lot of time before I finally had gathered the courage to actually get it done. So, you know, if I'd have been more brave at 14, I would have had more piercings when I was younger. In any case, yeah. Point is, you know, as long as you choose for it yourself and it's still possible to undo it, then, you know, I don't really think it's a bad thing if younger piercings get people. If younger people get piercings. So yeah, then on to the last part, piercings versus work. I also think this one just really depends on, like, yeah, just your personal situation. Like, how much do you need a job? Well, most people need a job to live, obviously, but like, if you're 16 and you only have a side job and you don't really need the side job, you only use the money for, like, I don't know, to buy games or whatever, just stuff you don't really need, then, you know, I don't think it's like an awful thing to quit like one job and go to look for a job that does allow you to have piercings, as long as you know, as long as you won't get in trouble for it, basically. I do of course think that if you want to build a career, then, you know, I don't know, it's just your own, basically it's just your own choice what you put your priorities with. Personally, I wouldn't like say no to a career for piercings, because, you know, the career would be worth more to me if I'd wanted a career in something that I couldn't get piercings in, basically. Luckily, I want to be a makeup artist, and, you know, it doesn't really matter how I look, basically, because I don't have to be on camera. Well, I am on camera now, but you get what I mean, you know. As a makeup artist, it doesn't matter how I look. And I'm also very lucky with my actual paid job, which is as a postman, because my boss doesn't care. Like, he really doesn't mind, and I'm very lucky with that, because, yeah, basically, what I tell you is something that I didn't do myself, but it's just a case of, like, do as I say, not as I did. You know, if you want to get piercings and you have a job, just go ask your boss if you're not sure if they will allow it. I didn't, but I got lucky and my boss doesn't mind. But yeah, when I started working for the post office here in the Netherlands, basically I still had just sort of natural looking, wasn't my natural color, but it looked natural, blonde hair. And I didn't have any piercings at all, and then within the time span of a few weeks, months I guess, I dyed my hair red and then orange, and my laptop almost went off. Okay, in any case, yeah, I have the computer mouse over here. It's wireless, obviously. In any case, yeah, and I got a bunch of piercings and now I look like this. And my boss luckily doesn't mind at all. But again, I got lucky with that, because they're not like, you know, they're not like forced by law to accept it, of course. So yeah, basically I think if you really want to be sure if you won't get in trouble for getting piercings, just ask your boss, and whether or not it's worth it to you to maybe lose your job over piercings. That's just really like, you know, your own situation and your own opinion and your own priorities, basically. And really I can't judge about that, because I don't know everyone's personal situation, obviously. Yeah. So yeah, basically those are my opinions about those subjects. You obviously, everyone has an opinion. So if you also have an opinion and want to share it, or just have, you know, your own story about getting pierced as a child, or getting piercings at a younger age, or piercings versus work, just feel free to share below, because, you know, like, maybe, you know, we can all like learn from each other's experiences, and just people who are still like on the fence about whether or not to get piercings might actually, you know, get some use out of this to read other people's experiences. So that's always a good thing. So yeah, in any case, I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Hello! Today I want to show you my 5 favorite horror DVDs. Simply because I didn't really have any other ideas for a Saturday video this week. As you